folks, Bridges here. This is part two of the video series of how to create your cams in the engineering classroom. On part one, we 3D printed our cam. In this one, I'm going to use the same model and just show you a different process, a different manufacturing process, that is using the laser cutter to create your cam from a piece of wood stock. So we've got the same model here. Okay, we're going to first turn it into a DXF file, and to do that I'm going to come over here to my sketches and I'm going to expand my sketches folder. It's not working for me. I got to move my toolbar out the way. I'm going to expand my sketches folder and I'm going to come down to where it says sketch 4. And when I click on sketch 4, it only gives me the little circle for the hole in the center, and that's not what I'm looking for. If I check sketch 3, that's something else. So I need a new sketch that is basically the profile, which is all of the edges that I want the laser to cut. So everything around the outside and the circle in the center. So to do that, I'm going to create a new sketch on my model, and I'm going to choose the sketch plane to be the face or the profile of my object. Now that I'm sketching on the face of the object, I'm going to do something called create, and I'm going to go to project include. So instead of creating lines or circles, I'm just going to use project to basically trace the edges that are already there. And if I choose project, I can choose the face, and it will get all of the edges that are a part of that, which is those basically the outline and then the circle. So when I click OK, now my sketch 5 includes all of those sketch entities. And when I click on sketch 5, I can see that. So I'm actually in sketch 5 right now. I'll click to finish the sketch, and sketch 5 is that special sketch that I want to export. So to export the sketch, weirdly, I don't think you can do it from the timeline, but if you expand your sketches folder, as I said earlier, you can find the sketch that you're looking for, and when you click it, it should show all of the edges that are going to be cut. And in this case, it shows all those edges. So I'm going to right click on that sketch, and I'm going to go down to export DXF. I'm not sure what a DXF file is exactly. Many lasers, you can use that. You can import the DXF file directly to the laser software and print from there. We run a Glowforge Pro, and Glowforge, I don't agree with their model. They require a premium subscription to be able to import a DXF file. Boo. So let's go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to call it once again 2AB laser. I'm going to call it laser cam, just so I know what I'm looking for. 2AB laser cam. And it is saving it as a DXF, and we don't care to save it in the cloud, but we do want to save it onto our computer. And once again, the file path says the downloads folder, so I'm good with that. If you are, I'll click save, and it saves that DXF file to our computer. Now at this point in the time, we want to come down here and we want to open an intermediate software called Inkscape. And in Inkscape, and I do have it installed already, and you should on your computer as well if you're in my classroom. If you're not in my classroom, you can download Inkscape for free. Just type it into Google and you can get the most up-to-date version. So while the software opens, I'm going to pause my video. And when my software finally loads, this is what I see. If you have a different version of Inkscape, you might be faced with a different window. Either way, I'm going to find where it says new document, and that's the goal. It's just to open a new document, to create a new doc. So once Inkscape creates a new document for me, this is a typical printer size worksheet, paper I should say, and that's not the size of stock that we're going to be using. I always like to go up here to File, and I go down to Document Properties, and this is where we can change the size of our workpiece, our document in this case. And I like to change my format from the format from basically anywhere it says millimeters. I like to change to inches. And our particular page is going to be a custom size, so the largest that can fit inside my printer, or sorry, my laser, is about 19 inches wide by about 11 inches tall. But what you want to put in here is basically the size of the wood or the stock that you're going to put in the laser, so that way you can see what room you have to work with. I'm just going to max it out at 19 by 11 roughly, and that's going to be the size of wood that I put in here. And at this point, let's go ahead and bring in the DXF file with the intention of converting it to an SVG, scalable vector graphic. We're going to search for our file path, which we said was the downloads folder, and we're looking for the 2AB laser cam, and there it is. Now, before it brings it in, it comes up with a dialog box for me asking me, how do you want to scale this thing? Manually, automatically, or do you just want me to grab the dimensions from the file? And since I dimensioned that cam properly in Fusion before exporting it, we want to say read from file. So we'll just say OK. Now, I have had some problems with this in the past. I hope that you don't run into that. The problem that I ran into yesterday was it was only bringing in part of my DXF file. But today, looks like it worked beautifully. So this file, it looks, if you check up here, the width is 3.3, the height is 3.8. Those do line up with what we created on Fusion. So at this point, just put it on where you want it to be cut on your laser. No need in cutting it right out of the middle, is there? We can save that space for something else. So I'm using my arrow keys right now to get really close to the edge. There we go. And that should be fine. It's going to laser everywhere that it sees a line. It's going to cut through there, and yeah. So let's go ahead and go File, Save As, and this is where we change the format in the Save As window. Once again, it's saving it to my Downloads folder. Great, but now look, our file type has changed. If it's not selected already, let's go ahead and select Inkscape SVG, or you can select plain SVG. I think either one of those is fine. Might as well go with plain. And then we'll say save. And don't forget to give it a name, AB Laser Cam. And I can leave the name the same because the extension is different now. ablasercam.svg. And when I save that, now we're all set. That would be the file that you would turn into me on the Google Classroom. From there, I can take it from you and I can put it onto the laser software. Once again, the downfall of the Glowforge, in my opinion, it only allows, to my knowledge, unless our school adds you as a user, I'm the only person that can put the files on there. Whatever. So I'll put your file on there. Make sure that it includes your name or your initials, and then I can print it out for you. Oh, you know what? You know what we ought to do while we're here? We ought to use the text tool over here on the left. This is a great idea. Why didn't we think of this before? Let's use the text tool, and let's go ahead and put your name or your initials on there. Okay? And let's resave that. Let's resave that. File, save. It saves it as AB LaserCam. And now when I print that out, I can set your text to be engraving and your lines to be cutting. And there we go. We'll know who everybody's cams belong to. Okay, I hope this was a helpful video. Thanks for watching.